So many things happened this week. The S&P 500 on Friday reached a 52-week high. The first gene editing treatment was approved by the FDA. McDonald's expands and opens a new chain, AMD with their own conference, and Gemini with Google with Gemini. Not so cool what they did. Are you ready for a weekly summary where we summarize everything that happened this week and getting ready for the week ahead? Are you ready for it? Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Micha Stocks, and on this channel, we summarize the week in the stock market. And a quick reminder that everything and anything that you see here is not financial advice. It's only entertainment and educational purposes only. That's what you're supposed to say, right? Okay. If you read the disclaimer at the beginning, you also know that. This is what the main averages did this week. The Russell leading the pack with a 1% gain, then the Nasdaq with approximately a 0.5%, S&P more on the solid side, 0.1%, and the Dow, you can say, unch on the week. When you look at the major indices, you can see that the energy had a very bad week, down 3.2%. And on the flip side, you can see technology and communication leading the pack. When we look at the crypto market, so the ETF, for the Bitcoin ETF is not approved yet, but both Bitcoin and Ethereum with a hell of a week. Bitcoin up another 4.6%. Ether is up another 5.3%. But it's a bit funny to record this video on a Saturday, looking Monday through Friday or through Saturday, since Bitcoin and crypto is trading 24/7. So let's look at it on a weekly basis. 7 days, this is how it looks. Ether up 12.5%, Bitcoin up 13.38%, and year to date, 165% for the Bitcoin and 96% for Ethereum. And when you look at the miners themselves and Grayscale Bitcoin Fund, you can see their gains on the week between 11 to 22%. Hot 8 did not go up 400%. They did a reverse split. That's why all the systems right now are providing with wrong percentages. So don't be on one side excited if you held them, and on the other side disappointed if you didn't hold Hot 8. They didn't outperform any of the other miners, Bitcoin miners. And this is the Magnificent Seven, the ones that you might say are ruling 30% of the S&P 500. Meta up another 2.4%, Google up another 2.3%, Apple up, Tesla up, Nvidia up, Amazon up, and only Microsoft, again, unch, just like the Dow Jones. When we look at the week that we had before talking about that, you're more than welcome, if you're new to the channel, to subscribe. We're already at 2.3K subscribers. We have 51 videos currently. So you can subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. And of course, if you can smash the like button, that would expose the channel to more people that can enjoy our weekly summary. Let's start summarizing the week. Friday, we got payrolls, which came in hotter than expected. The expectation was $190,000. That was the consensus. And we got $199,000. And of course, on the other side of that is unemployment coming down. We want to see the payrolls coming down a bit, and we want to see unemployment going up a bit. We don't want to see crazy. We don't want to see a crash, but we do want to see the labor market cooling. Why? Because we want the rates to come down so the stock market can keep on going up. But this is one of the most important things that happened in the drug industry, and this happened this week. The US just approved the first gene editing treatment using CRISPR technology. Basically, what CRISPR technology does, after you map your DNA, and if you have a sickle cell disease, just like this treatment, CRISPR technology, or using CRISPR technology, enables Vertex to identify exactly the gene that is hurt, taking your blood, fixing through your own blood the sequence or the DNA that is, and I might be butchering the scientific way of doing that. I'm just explaining it in a very easy to understand way. They're fixing the DNA, they're providing you your blood back, and that, according to Vertex, is supposed to cure you from sickle cell disease. Then how come this breakthrough brought two of the stocks, Vertex, which is the pharmaceutical company that is producing that, and CRISPR, which is a technology, going down. There are several reasons for that. Reason number one, the drug cost $2.2 million. Reason number one, according to Vertex CEO, which wasn't on record saying, but she was on record saying that she can't say that it cures you, but the patients say that it cures you. So that's one reason why they say the ROI makes sense. Second, and CRISPR side, is CRISPR went up in the last few weeks 100% by the rumor, and then people sold the news. The regular stock market performance. Is it a breakthrough? No doubt. Don't look at the short-term volatility of stocks like CRISPR and others and look at the bigger picture. If CRISPR technology would be used in more and more drugs, it means that the whole drug, not only the FDA, but the whole drug industry is going to change from, it's going to be the biggest change in drug technology because basically there won't be any more generic drugs in the way we know them. Most of the drugs, especially for the complicated diseases would be tailored to the person, which is amazing because it means that we might get better drugs. And this is Google with Gemini. So Google this week introduced Gemini. Gemini is their multimodal based on DeepMind competing with OpenAI. On the surface, it should be amazing. But they created a demo where they showed a lot of things. The only problem is some pieces of the demo were pre-recorded and were kind of cooked in order to look well. Of course, the market doesn't like these things. And again, Google is finding itself in a situation, instead of leading, being behind. Something, at least if you want to hear my opinion, I think something is going to happen with Google, at least with their management. I don't see the damage that is being done in the last year. I don't see it. I don't see the owners there letting it happen more and more. That's my opinion. AMD Lisa Su presented their new cards this week, Mi300 or Mi300. They compared it to NVIDIA's H100 and showed faster speed or faster memory and faster speed as well. And they also brought on stage OpenAI, they brought on stage Meta, they brought on stage Microsoft. Everyone wants to buy the new AMD chips. But also, one of the things that Lisa Su and AMD said is that the market is expanding in a dramatic way, which leads us to this. Because if the market expands in a dramatic way, it means that not only AMD is going to enjoy it, but also NVIDIA. Now let's go back to the stories that I went through very fast. McDonald's is expanding and is planning to expand in the next 3 years in another 10,000 locations. This is amazing because it means that McDonald's is seeing rapid growth a lot faster than the market is seeing right now in McDonald's. And also they're opening their new Cosmex spin-off restaurant basically to compete with Starbucks. That's what they want to do. It'll have drinks, snacks, and coffee. Might be interesting. We'll see in the next few months when we'll have more than just one concept. The SEC is not approving the crypto ETF yet, but is starting to tweet educational materials against the crypto market. They did the same thing before they launched BITO, which is it's not the crypto ETF, it's the futures crypto ETF. It's not spot ETF, it's futures. It's a different kind of way of holding assets. But if that means that we're going to see the ETF by end of the year, beginning of the year, bets are that we are going to see it beginning of the year. Taylor Swift, Person of the Year, Time Magazine. You probably heard it in all the different entertainment channels. But here we talk about the stock market. Why is it relevant? Well, because the Eras Tour, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, at least from rumors, gross $1 billion since it was launched. It creates a whole new economy because every place that Taylor Swift comes for concerts, all the hotels are sold out, restaurants are packed, air flights, travel, everything you want, a whole academy. And that's why It's not only an entertainment news, it's also a financial news. We talked about this. Let's talk about millennials and Gen Z. They're turning to their peers instead of professionals for financial advice. I don't know the reasons for that. I can tell you that it might be because times have changed and they want to hear more about crypto. They want to hear about more interesting investments and not only bonds. Maybe, you never know. I think this should be a wake-up call to financial advisors to step up their game because their knowledge is needed, but probably in a new kind of way. NVIDIA is looking how to overcome the challenges that the U.S. administration is putting on exporting their chips to China. Part of it might be to creating a factory, building a factory in Japan and then exporting from Japan or other places. We might see in the next few weeks for that. And if we're talking about China, we can't overcome the news that Apple is planned on making quarter of their world's iPhones in India, not in Japan. Maybe the iPhone producer is seeing tensions increasing. I don't know, but this no doubt is a news that the Chinese should be very, very worried about. And PayPal shares went down on Thursday, mainly due to the fact that Amazon dropped Venmo as a payment option. Now, whether it's part of a negotiation or is it something long-term, we don't know. What we do know is that this is going to impact PayPal, and we saw PayPal's stock going down during the year. This might be just another nail in, I won't say the coffin of PayPal because it's a profitable company, but the stock looks bad, really bad. AbbVie, supposed to acquire Neuroscience, ticker CERE, that's Neuroscience, for $45 a share. Up until Friday, CERE was traded for 41. If you believe this is going to happen and no one's going to stop it, there's a 10% upside on this. And of course, this is not financial advice, it's just pure math. And GDP now, Atlanta Fed shows 1.3% quarter over quarter analyzed GDP. America's economy is growing. Jamie Dimon and the other financial industries CEOs sat in Washington, and a quote from JP Dimon CEO says that he believes that if it was up to him, he would close Bitcoin altogether because the use cases for criminal, drug trafficking, anti-money laundering, and tax avoidance. This coming from Jamie Dimon, the head of a bank, which right now is going to pay tens of millions of dollars on illegal trading and other things that happened in the bank. So, takes one to know one. I don't know. And this tweet from Ben Johnson is one of the interesting tweets that I've seen so far in 2023. Apparently, the number of ETFs that would launch during 2023 is supposed to surpass 500 new ETFs. 500. 208 are going to close, which means that net, we're going to see an increase of 304, which brings us to 3,400 ETFs in the stock market. You can find an ETF for large cap, mid cap, small caps, growth, value. You can see an ETF 1.5 bull and 1.5 bear. Basically, there's an ETF for anything you want. And this week, a new ETF also launched. Quadruple X. XXXX. 4 times a bull on the SPY. Like I said, there's an ETF for everything. And this might be the chart for 2024, not for 2023. Hedge funds have the lowest exposure to financials. And what does that mean? It means that if financials are going to outperform at the beginning of 2024 due to the rates coming down, hedge funds are going to need to cover or actually buy exposure, which will increase the rally in financial stocks. Tesla is seeing in Denmark and Sweden strikes by the union. It's not really impacting Tesla stock as of yet, but we might see the impact in the next few weeks if this continues. And Meta, IBM, Oracle, Intel, Cornell, and others are creating an AI alliance which is trying to regulate or self-regulate the advancements of AI. Everyone is afraid of the advancements of artificial intelligence, and they're saying that if we're going to wait for the government, that's probably not going to happen. They want to self-regulate themselves. And Mark Zuckerberg this week sold a bunch of his Facebook Meta shares. He has a lot more, but does he feel that we are at the top of Meta stocks climb, or does he just need some pocket change? We don't really know. We might see that in the next few weeks. If we see Meta stock coming down, we'll know that he sold at the top. But if we see it going up, then he just sold because he sold. We don't know why he sold. Alaska Air is acquiring Hawaiian Airline for 4x the price that it closed the day before. On Friday, the stock closed at 4.86, and on Monday, the deal was announced for $18 a share. What do they know that the market doesn't know is a good question, but if they're willing to pay a 3x premium, there probably is a lot more to do. And last but not least, Daniel Ek, the CEO and founder of Spotify, sees very big growth in their financials, but also sees their number of employees too high and is planning 17% layoff of their employees. Those were the news of last week. And now, are you ready for the week ahead? The week ahead, I'm going to start covering very slowly and going to go faster and faster. Monday, we're going to hear from Oracle. Tuesday, we're not going to hear from anyone interesting. Wednesday, we're going to hear from Adobe. And on Thursday, we're going to hear from Costco. But earnings this week is not major news. The major news for this week is what is going to happen on Tuesday. Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we are going to get the CPI print. CPI print hopefully will keep on coming down, which means that inflation is cooling. Assuming that's going to happen on Wednesday, we're going to get the PPI. Same thing, this is the consumer and this is the producer. If we're going to see both of them coming down, it will provide the tailwind for later on Wednesday, where we're going to get the interest rates by the FOMC, and 2:30 p.m. the same day on Wednesday, we're going to get Jerome Powell on his press conference. All this is going to be wrapped up on Friday, where we're going to get quadruple witching, where the futures, the options, the weeklies and monthlies and quarterlies and all the hedges are going to be rolled over to the next quarter. This will create the volatility for next week because a lot of movement is going to be behind the scenes, and it will increase the volume of trading for the week ahead. This brings us to the S&P chart. And as you can see, 52-week high was achieved on Friday, where we breached the previous high of July 27, and then we got shy a bit and we closed a bit lower. So we're now at 4,600. We are on an upward trajectory, as you can see. And the big question is, this week is going to be a correction week, or we're going to see ourselves blowing over 4,600 and trying to breach 46.35 all the way to 47.45. Ranges would be around 47.45 all the way down to 44.54. And this week will basically define if we're going to see a end-of-year rally or an end-of-year correction. Signs are for rally. But if everyone's waiting for a rally, always expect the other side. Always go contrarian. We will see. I'm not betting on any side. I'm just exploring the market, enjoying the volatility and enjoying the news. If you enjoyed everything you've seen, if you can smash that like button, that would be amazing. Thanks again for watching. I'll be here next week with a new weekly summary. See you next week. Bye-bye.